Secretary there and Director General ICR and Chairman TAAS as the chief guest and the eminent speaker of Agricultural Education Day lecture. We also feel blessed and encouraged with the gracious presence of Dr. A.K. Singh sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Director IRI. And I also extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Anupama Singh ma'am, Honorable Dean and Joint Director Education IRI. At the outset, I request all the dignitaries to please come up on the stage and take their seats at the dais. So please. Thank you. And I now request Dr. A.K. Singh sir, Director IRI, to welcome our distinguished guests. I request you, sir, to welcome Honorable Chair of the session, Padma Bhushan, Dr. R.V. Singh sir, with flowers. I again request you, sir, to please welcome Padma Bhushan Dr. R.S. Paroda, sir, the chief guest of today's function and the renowned speaker of Agricultural Education Day lecture. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, the Indian Council of Agricultural Research has decided to celebrate 3rd December, the birthday of Bharat Ratna Dr. Rajendra Prasad ji, as Agricultural Education Day in India to commemorate his selfless services to the nation as the first president of independent India and also as the first Indian Union Agricultural Minister. This day is observed to expose students to various facets of agriculture and its relevance to country's development. I request the dignitaries on the dais to please join the cause. Thank you very much. And I now request and invite Dr. A.K. Singh sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Director IRI, for the welcome address and further request him to kindly introduce the chair to the session.
Chief guest and the speaker of today's program, Padma Bhushan, Professor R.S. Paroda, Chairman of the session, Padma Bhushan, Professor R.B. Singh, my colleague, Dean and Joint Director Education, Dr. Anupama Singh, distinguished guest in the audience, I can see Professor Sadamate, my colleague, Dr. Viswanathan, Joint Director Research, Dr. Padaria, Joint Director Extension, Dr. Sindhu, Dr. Brahman, Project Director, Water Technology Center, heads of the division, professors, students, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a matter of great pleasure for me to welcome you all and to congratulate you on the occasion of Agricultural Education Day, which is celebrated on December 3rd on the initiative of Indian Council of Agricultural Research. We know that this day is celebrated as Agricultural Education Day in the memory of the first Union Minister of Agriculture of Government of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad ji, who was Agriculture Minister in 1946, before independence, and the first President of India. And it is not only a function that we are doing here at ICAR-IARI, but this day is celebrated across all the institutes in ICR and in National Agricultural Research and Education System. What a pleasure for us that we have two doyens of Indian agriculture today with us on the dais, Professor Paroda and Professor R.B. Singh, to grace this occasion. Sir, I am pleased to inform you that on the initiative of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, IARI has expanded its education program to 16 hubs in the country, which I was detailing you before coming here. And I am happy to inform you that all the directors of the hub have also joined online along with the students who are present here in the hall. We have the live telecast of this program, and those students who are in hubs or those who are in IRI hostels, they I'm sure must have joined online this program. We have with us Dr. Gyanendra Singh, Nodal Director for the Hub and Director, Indian Institute of Wheat and Barley Research, Dr. Prasad, the Director, CICR Nagpur, Dr. Anup Das, RCR Patna, Dr. Misra, who is Director of ICR Research Complex at NEH region, Dr. Mehta, Director of CIA Bhopal, Dr. Sami Reddy, National Institute of Abiotic Stress Management, Dr. V.K. Singh, Director Krida, Dr. Sujay Rakshit, Director, Indian Institute of Agricultural Biotechnology, Dr. Nayak, National Institute of Rice Research at Cuttack, and Dr. O.P. Yadav from Kadri, and I also have been able to join online for one of the
engagement. So total we have 16 hubs across India, and these hubs have been created in the cities where we have maximum concentration of ICR institutions. So that there are places where we have got 8 to 10 ICR institutes, and all these institutes join hands together with the main hub to run the undergraduate, master's, and PhD program. These students are admitted through a national entrance examination, which is conducted, that is NTA, conducted by the Education Division, and based on merit and the choice that they opt for, they are given the placement in respective institution. They will carry out all the research work and take place in the respective institution. Wherever there is a little weakness or shortcomings in terms of manpower and faculty, from IRI, we are contributing and helping to fill up those gaps. And also, we have taken provisions to invite guest faculty in some areas where we do not have qualified manpower in the national research system. For example, some places, mathematics, physics, and those disciplines, the major varieties, etc., will be used for teaching those courses. This year, through the admission process, we have got 405 bachelor students admitted in building hubs, including IRI, 275 master's students, and 347 PhD students. So total against 1,207 seats advertised, we have admitted 1,027 students, and the final round is still to take place. And we are hopeful that all these seats will be filled. So this indicates the popularity of ICR, the infrastructure, the manpower, and the quality education that we can provide, that the students have given this as the first priority in their choice. This all the students, they are a big resource in terms of manpower to strengthen our ongoing research activities at respective hubs. Many times it is said that probably it may dilute, but we are conscious of the fact that without compromising the output and the research, and how we can augment this manpower to make our research output still better, is the direction in which we are working to see that IIRI institutions becomes a mega university. We are also working on establishing international linkages in terms of scientific degree program, joint degree program, and dual degree programs. In that context, recently award in Madras University, Western Sydney University, and University of Western Australia, where reciprocal exchanges of the students from their universities to IIRI and from IIRI to the university will also happen. We also have the students joining from IIRI Assam and IIRI Jharkhand, which are two campuses of IIRI. So once again, I would like to welcome each one of you, those who have joined with us in this program, to listen to a very enlightening lecture that Professor Paroda will deliver shortly. I also have a little responsibility to introduce the chair. Professor R.V. Singh is our new, and so is Dr. Paroda. Professor R.V. Singh did his graduation and post-graduation from College Kanpur, now Chandrasekhar Azad University of Agriculture and Technology, and his PhD from North Carolina State University. And after coming back to India, he served at Punjab Agriculture University and CCS University, Meerut now, earlier it was Meerut University, called as Professor of Genetics and Plant Breeding. He was the youngest professor at the age of 29 to become professor in any agriculture university or general university system. Also, he worked at Himachal Pradesh Agriculture University before he moved in 1972 to Banaras Hindu University, where he brought that institution, the Institute of Agricultural Sciences, to among the top-notch institution. Served there for almost 7 years before he left for the assignment with the Food and Agriculture Organization as Regional Plant Genetic Resources Officer, the Regional Plant Production and Protection Officer. And after serving more than 10 years at FAO, he came back and joined IRI as its director. Then he served as chairman ASRB. And again, he went to FAO for a short assistant director general, FAO. On coming back, he joined as member Farmers Commission and also served as president National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, chancellor of the Central Agriculture University as Impal. And his contribution to research, human resource development, and establishment of international linkages are really phenomenal, like that of Dr. Paroda. You will hear about him. So it's a great pleasure to have Professor R.V. Singh to chair this important function for his contribution to science and society. He has been bestowed with Padma Bhushan by Government of India. We are indeed thankful to you, sir, for kindly agreeing to chair this session. One small narration I would like to mention here about Professor R.V. Singh. When he went for his PhD at North Carolina State University, he was given full honor and fellowship by the university. So he was kind of curious to know why so much respect had been given to him. So he went to the head of the department personal secretary and asked. She said it's because of the letter of recommendation that you got from your professor from India, and that was Professor Akhtar Hussain. He was head of the botany department there. He said to her, I want to see what he has written. And Dr. Akhtar Hussain was also alumnus of North Carolina State University. So she said, no, this is not ethical on my part to show it to you. But he insisted and she showed it. Professor Akhtar Hussain had written about him that R.V. Singh is 3 times better than me. Give him the best fellowship that is possible. So what can be a better recommendation from a teacher for a student? Such a brief recommendation, because he was again a distinguished alumni, and proving that the faith that was disposed in him, he finished his PhD program in 2.5 years. Just 2.5 years, the shortest period that was available. So thank you, sir, for kindly agreeing being here with us. It's our pleasure to have you both on this occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the welcome address. And thank you very much for introducing our own R.V. Singh, sir, to all of us again. And I now very humbly request Dr. R.V. Singh, sir, to kindly introduce the honorable speaker of today's function to this August gathering. Sir.
Honorable Professor Paroda,
Director of the Institute, Professor A.K. Singh, Dean Anupma Ji, very distinguished colleagues, of course, I see all of them here. I take it I am naming each one of you by name, each one of you. My distinguished colleagues, heads of the departments, fellow scientists, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, let me mention that I am indeed highly honored and privileged to be here on this very important occasion. Number one, that Professor R.S. Paroda is this chief guest and speaker on this very important occasion. And that important occasion is the Education Day, an Education Day in the honor of the birth anniversary of none other than our first Minister of Agriculture, who was none other than our first President of India. And Dr. Rajendra Prasad Ji, a personality of tremendous knowledge, and a person of such a wonderful character, which will lead the whole world. As a matter of fact, if anything in personality, humanity has to lead the world, he was the leader. In his name, the Education Day, and mind you, if you possess any treasure anywhere, nothing is more treasured than education. And this is the day that you are celebrating today. And you are celebrating at an institution which has respected education so much, and which was brought out by the distinguished director of the institute, how the various hubs, the 16 hubs who have also joined, their directors have joined. Hopefully we'll be able to see them one after the other. And the kind of change that is happening today in education, and creating that kind of situation to understand how the transformation in education is taking place in agriculture after the National Education Policy 2020 was announced, and how the hubs are really leading ICAR-IARI to convert itself into the mega university, which will be hopefully #1 university not only in Asia, probably in the whole world. And this is where we are praying and hoping that our youngest colleagues who are here, let me tell you, I must congratulate you how fortunate you are, and the juncture that you are meeting here today, and the person whom you listen to is something which should not be able to enthuse you to really climb the top. And mind you, the sky is the limit, and you can always climb with the inspiration you will get from the person who is the distinguished speaker today. And I have the privilege to introduce him. As a matter of fact, nothing could be more gratifying than to introduce a person of his, caliber and his achievements. Generally, I don't read the introductions and achievements when I'm introducing some guests or something like that. But today, since we have the younger colleagues and younger students, I would like to read every word what has been given to me to read it, so that every word must be inspiring to you. The purpose of these functions is you inspire to go to catch the star, and if you keep trying, even if you don't catch the star, you catch some star dust, and that dust is enough to keep you shining for the whole life. And listening to Professor Paroda from him is exactly the same. If you will be able to capture even a few of the things that he has been achieved, and you aspire for those, then I tell you, India will be different. India will be different because you are the one who make the nation. Therefore, sir, permit me to read every word that I have been given to. Dr. Arjun Singh Paroda is an Indian agricultural scientist who has made valuable contributions in the field of agriculture, both as a researcher and an able administrator. He was born in 1942 in Rajasthan, obtained his master's in plant breeding from the University of Udaipur, and PhD in genetics from ICAR-IARI, Nigai. That is like you. He was here, and the fields and the kind of every place that you see that he traveled through, he was here. I have also something to do with it, as a matter of fact, but I don't want to do it right now. But I also feel privileged that I have been associated with his graduation in some way. As I mentioned, he was a student in genetics and got his PhD from here. After he completed his PhD, he completed a postdoctoral program at the University of Wales in the United Kingdom. Dr. Paroda has been champion for the cause of genetic resources management for over 5 decades, 50 years. As director, National Bureau of Genetic Resources, he took major initiatives to build one of the most modern gene banks at New Delhi, which is now housing more than 400,000 valuable germplasm accessions of different crops. Mind you, genetic resources are the basis of life for further progress. And the way he managed those real components of further genetic gains is amazing. And it's one of the best in the world. He was the secretary there and Director General of the ICAR and President of the National Academy of Agricultural Sciences. He was first elected chairman of the Global Food Agriculture Research. FAO. He served as an executive secretary of APARI, that is Asia Pacific Association of Agriculture Research Institutions, is called APARI. Also, he was chairman of the board of the trustees of ICAR, member IARI board in the Philippines, and ICAR-IARI in Canada and CARI in London. Dr. Paroda has received several prestigious awards and recognitions for his services to the nation and society. I know only a few are mentioned. If I were mentioned, probably the whole seminar will be on that. He is a proud recipient of Padma Bhushan Award. Other awards conferred upon him are Rafi Award, Kizwai Award, Vicky Award, Om Prakash Bhasin Award, Sijan Award for Outstanding Partnership, Lifetime Award for Association of Agricultural Scientists in America, Silver Jubilee Commemoration Medal by IMSA, Dr. B.P. Pal Memorial Award, Dr. A.V. Joshi Memorial Award, and Dr. M. Swaminathan Award for environment protection. Mind you, Dr. B.P. Pal, Dr. Swaminathan, Dr. A.V. Joshi were also, as you all know, the directors of this great institute. And what they are, here they are elected as a student, as a teacher, right like you. And so you can imagine the glory of this institution and the outcome that all of my students who are listening to it because you are our future. The young generation leads the future. And therefore, I am reminding you time and again that what a history behind you, and it should enrich your commitment to really achieve, even if half of course you can achieve, I think you will be number one somewhere in the world. Dr. Paroda is a fellow of all the science academies of India, besides being fellow of the Academy of Sciences, Russian Academy of Agricultural Sciences, Kazakh Academy of Agricultural Sciences, and Armenian Academy of Agricultural Sciences. Recently, he has been elected as a foreign fellow of the Australian Academy of Technological Sciences and Engineering, a great honor, as a matter of fact. He has been conferred honorary Doctor of Science degrees from 18 universities in India and abroad. Currently, he is serving as the chairman of the Trust for Advancement of Agricultural Sciences, in brief TAAS, and as the chairman of the Haryana Farmers Commission, where his goal is to link science to society through policy advocacy and public awareness. Besides, he is member of the Strategic Impact Monitoring and Evaluation Committee of CGIAR and serving on the board of International Fertilizer Development Center, IFDC, in the United States of America. I want to close by a little sentence which I have written. Even today, many of you may not be knowing. He visits his village very often and he spends considerable time at his farm. As a matter of fact, something which impresses him, which very often there are many things which impress him at his farm. He will take the picture, and probably I am the first one whom he sends those pictures, and I go through those pictures with such a tremendous gratitude to him that I am walking his farm, seeing these pictures along with him, seeing what is happening. So mind you, this great person, with all the commands that he has in agriculture, goes to his village, walks on his farm, sees what is happening, how it is happening. And that initiative and the people around him, those who see him working at the farm, the farmers get so, activated, so stimulated, enthused that they all try to follow what is happening at his farm in a real way. So, my dear friends, you can see right from birth till to date, Professor Paroda is the most devoted person to take agriculture to greater heights, including through agricultural education. Sir, I have the privilege of requesting you to kindly guide us and address us. Thank you very much.
Honorable Professor R.B. Singh, my esteemed colleague, friend, and senior brother, Dr. A.K. Singh, Director of this great institution, Dr. Anupa Singh, the Dean of ICAR-IARI, Dr. Viswanathan, Dr. Padaria, Dr. Sadamate, many other heads of divisions, the faculty members, dear students, it's indeed a matter of great privilege for me. I'm grateful to the director and the dean for having extended this invitation, and nothing would give you more pleasure to address to the students of the institute where I myself was a student at one time. I never could say no, and then double pleasure was I was told that Professor R.B. Singh would be chairing this lecture. I am humbled by whatever you said, Professor Singh. We have moved together for decades. You didn't want to say, but let me tell you today that he was my PhD examiner. Dr. Joshi liked him very much, and he had come and joined as an associate professor at Haryana Agriculture University as cotton breeder. And he was very fond of cotton breeding. And then it was to my pleasant surprise that he was there to examine me. And I don't know what he found, but later on I came to learn that it turned out to be quite satisfactory as far as their assessment was concerned. Today we have gathered here to celebrate National Agriculture Education Day. It's indeed a very significant event. You would appreciate that agriculture otherwise doesn't get that kind of prominence compared to other sciences. And today we are all here to celebrate that to bow in reverence to a luminary, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, a person who was the great son of India, born in Bihar, near Chhapra district, a very brilliant student. He stood first in entrance exam in the Calcutta University and studied at Presidency College. Why I am telling you all this, I'll relate it later. Then he took science, and his teachers were Dr. J.C. Bose and Praful Chandra Roy, the famous one could think of. And later on he decided that he would like to shift from science to arts. So then he did his MA in economics, securing gold medal, and then went to teach English at Muzaffarpur for 2 years, and then thought that he must pursue his studies. So left that job and he started going in for law degree. And then he did his PhD in law from Allahabad University. From there, he was having very, lucrative profession and earning a lot as a lawyer, but then decided to join the Indian nationalist movement, coming from a village from Bihar, going then to join and left all lucrative profession that he had, and joined also and worked with Mahatma Gandhi. In 1917, he joined Indigo movement. I hope you all know that is also called as Champaran Satyagraha, where Gandhiji went and objected against the directive of the government, British government then, to grow indigo because they wanted natural dye to be produced in place of the food crops otherwise which they were growing, and which they found not desirable. So from there, he then rose to a level of president of the Indian National Congress, and he became president 3 times, not once. 1934, 1939, and again 1947 when country became independent. And then he also was president of the Constituent Assembly when India got independent and was heading that till the constitution was adopted and we became a republic in 1950. Then he became first president. But before that, during that intervening period, he was the first agriculture minister of India. So, in the name of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, having this agricultural education day, you can imagine how important it is and how it raises the stature of agriculture science. He remained president for almost 12 years before he died in 1963, and he also received Bharat Ratna in 1962. Why I am saying all this is that in his name, if we are having this education day, we must try to understand that what can be achieved right from rural setting to that of the national level, working with Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, Lal Bahadur Shastri, and Subhash Chandra Bose. He was very mature person, very dedicated, very intellectual, had high integrity, and his dedication was never questionable. So these are the values that are required while we go for our higher studies. And that's why I just wanted to mention. And then it is not necessary that if you adopt one particular stream of education, you should not change from science to arts to law. That kind of flexibility which now national education policy is asking for had already been there. And I also joined agriculture, was not a bad student after my high school, but every class fellow laughed at me that what he is going to do. Everybody is going as either in engineering stream or in the medical stream. And those was the, prestigious areas for future career. And I just said that I will do agriculture on my own farm and maybe I'll do little better and maybe I'll help my mother who is otherwise working and working hard to let us have education. So that was the time. But today there is a respect for agriculture. And this respect has not come just overnight. Now, national agriculture education policy is also agreeing that agriculture should be taught at a school level. It otherwise had never been a subject at the school level. So how can you really attract good students to a subject which they are not exposed to? When a child doesn't know where the potato is growing, whether above soil or under soil. So that is the kind of scenario which has changed. And agriculture, I recollect having joined here, and I was, maybe I just say a few words about this institute also. Lucky enough to come and get admission, and admission was not that easy here because there were very few colleges. Kanpur College, those were famous, colleges which were 17 at that time when we became independent, 14 in agriculture and 3 in animal sciences and veterinary. And to begin with, there were 6 colleges only. So Kanpur was one among them, Lalpur and Pune and whatnot. So I don't have to go into the details of those. But the premier institution here at that time for higher studies was only Indian Agriculture Research Institute. And when I applied and came here, I tell you, nothing had been so frightening as far as getting admission is concerned as it was here. 15 people sitting with Dr. Paul in between, Dr. Swaminathan, Dr. Joshi, and all those stalwarts and all heads of divisions of IARI in that library central hall. And they will ask you to come and stand just for 5 minutes and ask 3 questions and then say, okay, go out. So you just don't know whether you are going to get admission or not. Best students were coming here and they got, and I tell you, if I had not come here, probably I would have remained just what they call is Kup Mandu of Rajasthan. It exposed to the national scenario. And then, of course, my mother insisted that you should further go for higher studies. She was not educated, but I said I have already done. I have many good job offers. So then I applied for Commonwealth Fellowship and went to UK. And if I had not gone to UK, I would have not known what India is compared to the rest of the world. What I mean to just say is that you need to continue your studies, try to continue them to the end, if you can, without break, is also one aspect. And secondly, take any subject, but if you work hard, and that's what Dr. Abdul Kalam used to say, that and when he came here for Indian Science Congress, which we had organized on this campus, and he was there and we organized a student congress as well, because the president generally don't come in those science congresses. They are inaugurated by the Prime Minister. So there he said to the young students, then have dreams, but not only dream, work hard and try to achieve those dreams. So nothing is impossible. And I have no regret of having taken agriculture as a profession. Now I come to Indian agriculture scenario. And I was really born, my mother used to introduce because of not remembering which year I was born. He would say that he was born around Bengal famine time. The famous Bengal famine, which had taken a toll of more than 3 to 3.5 million people. And it was not on account of any disease, but it was on account of the wrong decision taken by Churchill at that time to not provide food to the Eastern India. Imagine from that, then we were also, when I joined this institute, we were called begging bowl. We had food insufficiency. Now, in one generation, I see that country has gone ahead and we are surplus. We have not only green revolution, this seat of green revolution, this institute, and I happened to, and then I was also lucky, you know, sometimes you are fortunate to also have acquaintances or get those kinds of teachers who really are the best. So I had that kind of opportunity of working with Dr. Swaminathan. That time Dr. Bolog used to come. I had joined in 64 and the seeds of green revolution were being sown in Sonora village, and we used to go and dibble those seeds because quantity was very small. And dibble them in Jonti village, and from where the green revolution took place. Of course, then there was decision of importing, and that too, when I'm talking of Dr. Borlaug, I just once asked him, Dr. Borlaug, we have achieved green revolution, but you are now working in Africa for more than almost 15 years. Why green revolution is not happening there? same person, same varieties, same approach. Then he said, Raj, from where do I bring the policy support that you have in this country? The first Prime Minister had said everything else can wait, but not agriculture. Lal Bahadur Shastri was in very difficult time when we had food shortages and had asked for 1 day fast every week, and then had to realize the importance. So he said, Jai Jawan on the border, but Jai Kisan on the land to survive. And then, of course, I happened to work with Vajpayee ji, and he said, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan. And now Modi ji has said, Jai Anusandhan also has been added. So the question is that we have come a long way. Institution, the second point you, Dr. Bollock said was where do I get institution like IRI? And the third was the human resource, from where do I get Swaminathan in Africa? And the fourth one was that where is the appreciation of partnership, global partnership between India and Simit, IRI, and so on. So all these things really mattered. We have come a long way. Green, white, blue, and rainbow revolution in horticulture, which has now taken place. We have seen fiber revolution in cotton through technologies, BT cotton. We are seeing the revolution in sugarcane, sugar production over the last few years. We have seen the revolution in basmati rice. Here is one, the famous rice breeder sitting here, starting with my colleague Siddiq earlier, and then VP Singh, and then Dr. AK Singh. It has raised our head high, globally, not within the country, globally, that we can address our problems and problems more successfully. We have now more than 50 to 70 million tons of buffer stock. We are exporting more than 55 billion US dollars of agriculture products, and we seem to be making strides in all directions of agriculture. Therefore, institutions are important, and institutions, brick and mortar don't make institutions. It is the human resource which make institutions. So the quality of education becomes very, very relevant and important. Having said this, as I have rather a limited time, I would like to say that I hope you all know about history of Pusa Institute. This was not here. This was established in Pusa, Bihar. And why Pusa was called Pusa? Often people don't know it. And this was at that time by a philanthropist called Henry Phipps, who had given 30,000 pounds as a donation to start this agriculture college. And this was initiated at Pusa. And Pusa is Phillips, USA. He was from USA. So it is PUSA. And this institute got completely destroyed. And I think it was in 1932. And then it was shifted here in 1936. And we still call it Pusa Institute, just for that, respect. But see, and Lord Curzon had laid the foundation stone of this, who was Governor General at that time in 1904 at an institute started in 1905, and then it has now got the deemed university status after 1988. 1958, sorry, yeah, 1958, because then we were beneficiary of that, joined in 64, and so the institutions of this kind are required, and they have played their role, and we have to appreciate that agricultural revolution would have not been possible had such institutions not been in place. We are happy that today our national agriculture research system is one of the strongest in the world. We have more than 113 institutions, 75 state agricultural universities, and then agricultural education also has an important history. Dr. Ralph Cumming, Indo-American committee was constituted by Government of India, and then they were asked to give it report, and they said that we should have agricultural universities on the pattern of land grant system. And land grant system means you have three-legged functions: education, research, and extension, integrated on the same campus, and large area of land was allocated. And today our system has 75 agricultural universities, including deemed university and central agricultural universities, and also we have 762 Krishi Vigyan Kendras established. It's a great system which has been built, and ICR had been reformed twice. In 1966, I know I was witness. Dr. B.P. Paul was moved as Director General of the first reformed ICR, and all the institutes in different ministries dealing with agriculture were brought in under the ICR umbrella. But again it was reformed, and thanks to that reform, in 1972, when Dr. Swaminathan became the Director General, he was given also the status of Secretary to the Government of India for a department called Department of Agriculture, Research and Education. That raised the status of the whole scenario, and since then we have never looked back. We have been getting all kind of appreciation from all over, and I would like to say that now is the time to have a relook at the land grant system. We recently had a meeting, Professor R.B. Singh, myself were there, and I think Anubhav, you were there, you were traveling, and we realized that there are now, despite all the, what you call is SWOT analysis strength, we see that some weaknesses are emerging, especially when a system becomes stronger. Obviously, right from within and outside, threats start emerging. That it is unmanageable, it is very big, maybe it should be reduced to certain level, and there is need for more reform, and also NEP has become an opportunity as well as a challenge. We should take it as a challenge, I would say. Opportunities later, because it requires, and it has clearly told that state agricultural universities must have better flexibility, must be multidisciplinary institutions on the same campus, and also must have flexibility and better quality and quantity. And they have indicated that our contribution, despite such a big investment and infrastructure that we have built, is not commensurate with the kind of strength that is available. So teacher-taught relation or ratio are the issues to be also looked at, and that ratio seems to be much less compared to other universities that are. And then question of proliferation, question of disintegration, agriculture divided into veterinary, fishery, and also horticulture, etc., is not in the right direction, I would say, but it is happening, and it is you are witness to it. You cannot avoid it because it is a process of umbrella building in the system. Any politician who's there, if it is University of Agriculture, means it is with Agriculture Minister. So Horticulture Minister or Livestock Minister thinks, what do I have with it? I should have my own university under me. So that process also has been responsible to, and then NEP is asking for diversification in our course curricula, especially not to have all degree-oriented programs, but also vocational programs, diploma-oriented. And in agriculture, I will come to my last part, that this vocational training is now much more important to take science to society. This education has helped us to make progress and to a greater extent help the scientists and teachers for their own upliftment. But when you look at and when you I talk to the farmers of Haryana while working with them as Chairman Farmers Commission, and ask them what do they want. Their demand was, we don't want subsidy, but we want best education, best knowledge for not routine agriculture, but for secondary agriculture, for specialty agriculture, for value addition, for linking ourselves to market. And we also know that we have challenges of sustainable development goals. Poverty is still 17% in the country, which has got reduced from almost 80%. Our contribution in the GDP was earlier about 65%. 80% of the people were dependent on agriculture. They have come down to now 50%, but still 50% population is dependent on agriculture and allied sector. And our GDP contribution has come down to 17 to 20%, which I don't think bad, because when you compare it with the industry contribution has not excelled more than 25%. So 70 to 20% tomorrow in the country's future, when we are targeting 5 trillion economy, 1 trillion economy will come from agriculture. I have no doubt about it. And we should aim that and try to work for it. And that is possible not by routine agriculture, but now to go in for new innovations. And the paradigm shift has to be on two sides. One is the one-legged approach which we adopted through the enhancement genetically of using improved varieties and hybrids. We have to now also have the natural resource management and through good agronomic practices and precision agriculture. This is very, very critical. The farmers, the second generation problems are telling that factor productivity decline has started, and we have to see that whatever resources we are using, they are more efficiently used. And like even fertilizer, our fertilizer use is only 30% in terms of efficiency. You just cannot waste it. You have to double it quickly. And if you double it quickly, for which options are there, the innovations are there, you certainly would be reducing the import of 4 million tons of fertilizer out of 20 million tons that we are importing. And the kind of exchequer cost that we have is amazing. It is mind-boggling. So we have to do that. The other paradigm shift is that not only agriculture research for development, but agriculture research and innovation for development. So the emphasis should come on innovation. Luxury of only publishing papers is not going to help the country. We need to now think in terms of whether it is entering into any production phase for benefit to the end user. So that becomes an important aspect, and I feel that youth has to be motivated to agriculture. Farmers, when I also talked to them, they said our second demand is that kindly do something by which either my son remains in agriculture and do something better, or give him some job outside. So we have to now go in for those aspects and approaches by which we provide them uh, capability and competence to serve the society either as private extension agent, either as service provider, either as input provider, produce inputs, enough scope is there, or as entrepreneur by going in for new approaches and options. So, and fortunately, India is lucky to have great strength of youth. 356 million youth we have between age of 15 to 26, out of which 50% living in rural area. Almost 200 million live in rural areas, and they don't know where to do, where to go, and just wasting their time. Most of they have to be brought into the scenario and given some kind of options for their livelihood, and that is possible, but that would require youth to be embraced, youth to be guided, youth to be provided the institutional backstopping. They need mentorship, and they need also funding support. And for that, there are many options by the government, Skill India, and I don't want to go into all those details, but then we should try to take benefit, and what kind of benefit we should take, and what kind of innovations that are there. Now, also globally, the pressure is not only of producing more, but saving what you produce and use it through value addition. So post production management becomes more and more critical, and that also would require now new options so that you can not only produce and use it as raw material, but add value and export it abroad. Uh, Tremendous examples can be cited again, uh, like we are talking of role of new science. So new science has to be taken benefit of, whether it is genome editing, whether it is ICT. My cell phone is there. I was, as Dr. Professor R.B. Singh said, I am also a farmer after my retirement. And I know the problems of farmers. And if I go into those will be mind-boggling to you all, and time is not enough for it. But I tell you, farmer is definitely at a receiving end, and he is exploited by market middlemen, and he doesn't get his price for. So we have to provide help. And so I was talking of this cell phone. We want now innovations that are disruptive, and disruptive like iPhone or any smartphone. When I install uh, the pump in our tube well, the artisan there who was working, who is not even educated, he said, "Sir, can I put the app in your cell phone so that you can switch it on even from Delhi, 400 kilometers away? So I can from here operate, or at least I know when the tube well is on and when it is off." So those kinds of approaches are there, disruptive, which have reached, and options are, and the farmer needs knowledge, and for knowledge we should try to take benefit of ICT. Artificial intelligence is both ways threatening as well as great opportunities it offers, and big data the Internet of Things, the drones, the use of drones now is very important. Nano fertilizer, how you use nano fertilizer, but it can help a great deal in improving the efficiency of fertilizer use. Conservation agriculture can help in saving the cost on input or cultivation to a greater extent, and you have the options of micro irrigation. Now we have, out of say last 3-4 decades of effort on micro irrigation, we started subsidy when I was in ICR at that time, and it is there, but only 10 million hectare we have added. Of irrigation potential we have about 60. With micro irrigation now we have increased it to 70, but we need to increase it to 90 at least, or 100. And how much time will it take? One generation has gone. Now we started the protected cultivation. You can increase your income and production almost by 10 to 15 times. All my scientists have been showing, all the farmers are telling. But then how much area we have covered under protected cultivation? We started under NATP as a mission on it, but still area is only 50,000 hectares. In China, it is 2 million hectares. So how will it take another generation or 2 generations for 1 million hectare area in India? So I think innovations are there, but they need to reach to the youth, and youth be given the vocational training. We talk of biofertilizer. How much biofertilizer we produce? 5 to 7% of total requirement. How will you depend on organic agriculture we are talking, but from where you will get the farmyard manure? You talk of biopesticides. We say that yes, there should be integrated pest management, but then how many biopesticides and what proportion of total pesticide use that we are having in our country? So there are issues. Much can be done. Again, as I said, time is not enough to talk about, but now option of biofuel has come. Why should not farmer in India also gain like farmers in US by diverting maize to biofuel? And government has now allowed it, fortunately. Even sugarcane, now we have surplus sugarcane. We can't compete with the international market in terms of our price. So we have 3 to 4 million tons of sugar lying in our buffer stock and cannot export it because we cannot compete. So why not divert some of sugarcane for biofuel? And government has also now, I think this is again good point, that we have been doing policy advocacy, and on the basis of policy advocacy, some initiatives have been taken, like approval of now recently GM canola, mustard. GM cotton we earlier had, and the use of CRISPR-Cas technology under SDN1 and SDN2. So we are trying to convince and getting these approved. But then, if even I talk of the genome editing approach, it is available, but scientists are working. One scientist at Navi also has come out with banana improved variety, but then can it be released? There are IP issues. It cannot be released. So you are doing research for whom? There are issues that have to be also thought of more aggressively, and we have to see that the focus is on the farmer. We always say भारत एक कृषि प्रधान देश है. हमने कृषक को प्रधान तो कभी बनाया ही नहीं. कृषि प्रधान देश कैसे हो जाएगा? So now farmer has to be first in the focus, and that's what our GCAR initiatives, global conferences that we organized in Montpellier and also in Uruguay, they came out very clearly that you have to now lay greater emphasis on the farmers. You have to go in from cropping system to farming systems mode. Farmer cannot have his income increase unless it is total farming system. If you have to address the climate change problem through agriculture, then we know that it is contributing to something like almost 34%. Land degradation, you have to check land degradation. Rice cultivation, you have to make rice cultivation more efficient. Direct seeded rice options are there, or you have to use your fertilizers more efficiently, avoiding the imbalance that we have created through wrong subsidies. And these are all the issues which would require definitely a rethinking, and the time is right that we start looking at make our agriculture more secure and sustainable, going for those innovations which are, and provide vocational training to the school pass outs, or even those who are doing graduation want to become entrepreneur. Uh, Sky is the limit, I can tell you. Sky is the limit. There are technologies, but then you need to be more attentive. As a student, you must have market survey. You must know where which is produced, which is available, and what is the demand. And linking market is a very critical requirement, which will be critical. And we have to go in for vocational training. Even in case of horticulture, I'm having a arid horticulture farm. Getting the good quality certified virus resistant saplings of citrus is also a challenge. So what? And these boys can be taught. They can produce in large numbers. And why should all become white collar job oriented training? So this is diversification is necessary. We have to go and revisit our land grant system, and we have to see that we are in harmony with the expectations of national education policy. Sooner we do, better it would be. And I have my personal, worries. Professor R.B. Singh is, I think, equally worried with me that if we do not take care and be attentive, there will be disintegration of research, education, and extension system. And this will be more suicidal for the growth of our country and also for the national agriculture research and education system that we call. Nobody would care for ICR if tomorrow you are not partner and funding the programs with them. If tomorrow KVKs get delinked, if the universities get delinked, then what will be left is only research. So you do research in your institution. Who takes it, who doesn't take it is immaterial. But here we have great partnership, which I think is unparalleled. This partnership has come through the national agriculture system that we have built. We have to guard against it. Following ICR, Sri Lanka wanted to follow the model, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Philippines. But they could never get the status of secretary to the government of India for their director general. And the education is, in most of these countries, is with the education ministry. And this NEP is going to take away this agricultural education under their fold, because everybody wants to build their own empire. So whether this delegation on behalf of UGC will continue with ICR is a matter which we think that it will be with us, but under the new National Accreditation Council and the new Education Council, the responsibilities all go to the Education Ministry, unless they delegate to you. So are we aware about it? Are we working for it? Are we concerned about it? So on the Education Day, if I have catalyzed your brain and if I have stormed it, possibly I have solved the purpose for which you have asked me to come here and share my views. Many more things can be said, but always it is good to be as brief as possible. I have already spoken maybe more than 40-45 minutes. So I thank you all. Thank you, Professor Singh, for the opportunity, Anupama.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for the valuable insights. You highlighted the importance of agriculture and the importance of this day as well. You shared with us the inspiring journey of Dr. Rajendra Prasad ji, praised the efforts made by all of us in the field of agricultural research, and at the same time highlighted us the challenges which we are going to face in the near future. So, at the end, I request all of you to give a huge round of applause to the amazing, amazing speaker of the day. Thank you so much, and I now invite Professor R.V. Singh, sir, Honorable Chair of the session, for his remarks, please.
Well, my dear friends, at this stage, I do not know whether further remarks are needed. I will only remind you of the last couple of major points, that with the incoming of the NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020, there are certain possibilities which will probably adversely impact agricultural education. I would like each one of you to understand what are those difficulties. As Professor Paroda mentioned, there has to be a very detailed analysis of this demand-supply situation of the skilled, trained human resources in agriculture. Agriculture taken in a comprehensive sense, agriculture taken not only in terms of crops and livestock, but also the farmer who does the agriculture. So agriculture in a comprehensive sense means humanity behind agriculture, the mankind, all that's taken together. See how, if that has to be served, the farmer first, mind you, is still India, 50% of the population is farmer. Out of that, so many, 90%, 80% are smallholder farmers. Think of their livelihood security, their humanity, their education, their future. If such a huge population which depends on agriculture and the agricultural education is not in the right direction, it goes in the direction of what NEP wants actually. I am only interested in creating what we call the gross enrollment ratio of 9% against 1%, forgetting about the quality and what agriculture needs, what a smallholder farmer needs is extremely important. Therefore, if we have to give the respect to the great leader of this nation, in whose name we celebrate this Education Day, as brought out by Professor Paroda, there are so many challenges that one has to face. And who will face it? If you don't face it, who else will face it? I would like all my senior colleagues, teachers here, my heads of divisions and so on and so forth, please go through the possibilities and the alignment and asymmetries. I request asymmetries and possible alignments with NEP and new agriculture education policy. And if that has to be done, must understand the reality behind each word that is put in NEP. Otherwise, the bureaucratic system is so difficult that they try to manipulate and manage it to their advantage. And you will get all the universities which are today integrated, land grant university, disintegrated. You will have a cow university, you will have a fish university, you will have a buffalo university, you will have all kinds of things. And what will work together? What is integrated development? What is integrated agriculture? What is integrated farming? What is 1 + 1 = 11? Where will you get the interaction effect? You will not. Therefore, these are the most difficult things. So you talk of whether precision agriculture, conservation agriculture, diversification, intensification, you think of the totality agriculture in a very comprehensive sense. It is the soil, it is the plant, it is the human, it is the people, it is the microbe, it is the organic matter. Everything all together you think. And with that consideration, you think what should be your agriculture education policy. You decide your agriculture education policy, which will help my graduates to really make a difference. They need not necessarily take advantage of the flexibility, take advantage of the kind of certificate or the way you can manage agriculture differently. You take advantage of those and then proceed. So, my dear friends, I think the points which have been made by Professor Paroda are so eye-opening that today we all have to be alert about which way are we going. Otherwise, if we don't be alert, if we don't understand which way Meru is being formed, which way these hubs are developing, which way the ICAR-IARI in Assam or anywhere else is coming up, what will I end up with that? What we mean by research, education, extension, all three being integrated. On the other hand, we remove the KVKs from ICR system and we don't respect it. How will you be? The three, the REE, one E is taking away. And surely you will take away the other E also, education. Then what is left? Therefore, I think it is so very important that you please start thinking about the symmetry and asymmetry which is likely to be created by the implementation of NEP 2020 the way it is suggested. How should it be modified to get the maximum advantage of it? How should you educate? What is your point of argument for that? All these you have to develop. I urge each one of you, my dear senior colleagues who are sitting here, that how will you proceed in that process? So I think the speech today has opened our eyes. We are sitting at a very critical stage, of change, and that change must be to the advantage of the farmer. Always keep for a country like India, nothing is more central than the farmer. And farmer does farming. A farmer is a farmer because he does farming. A farmer is not only the one along the entire value chain is the farmer. And if you align the farmer right from pre-sowing to post-harvest management and distribution and consumption at the same time, then you will be able to see whether the hungry child is still with the farming community or those who are feeding us continue to feed us, but they remain hungry and they produce the generation of people who are mentally retarded. So, if you look at the epigenetic effect of undernutrition, malnutrition, hunger, and if that is going to continue with the kind of things that will happen, then you will have a breed of hungry people. You don't want that. And this is where you have to be very alert. You have to be very active in your understanding of the entire thing, and which has been very, in simple words, been explained by Professor Paroda. I think we are very grateful to him. We gave the standing ovation. We must give him the standing ovation, so that we remember we are standing on our feet. We are standing on our feet to protect our agriculture through the best of education. We are standing in our feet. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's always a defining experience to listen to you. And sir, we look for many such fortunes in the future as well. Thank you so much for being with us. So moving ahead, in our next program, like ICR institutes, including IRI, organize various competitions to call upon the young minds to explore agriculture for addressing the issues and serving the farmers of our country. The purpose of this day is also to develop interest in agriculture and allied sciences among the schools and college students. So under this endeavor, IRI organized several competitions under the guidance of Dr. C. Bharadwaj sir. I request him to kindly come over the stage to brief us all about the program and also to announce the winners. Sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable dignitaries on and off the dais. With the theme Agricultural Education at the Interface of Sustainable Development Goals, we had a slew of competitions. The one that we'll be felicitating the winners is basically of the painting competition that was held on first. We had about 68 students competing from about 16 schools. It was a huge one where we had two basic themes. One under the 22nd, where it is the agricultural education, basically the environment, which is one of the part. And so we had given to the seniors agricultural education and environment, and to the juniors were first to fifth standard, My Clean Village. You had already seen the paintings, and I think with repetitions, the students there are. I request you to kindly come to the front to felicitate the winner, sir. Sir, in the senior category, we have at the first place Bharvi Nayak Kalita from class 11 of Balbharti Public School. Next is Shriya, who came second from Gyan Mandir Public School. At the third, we have two people from the Government Boys Senior Secondary School, IRI Pusa, Aman and Sakib, who are also from class 10. In the junior group, we have at the first place Pratyusha Maji, again from Balbharti Public School, who secured first and is in class 4. We have G. Vidhu from St. Columbia School, who secured second. From class 3, he is. Then we have Riya Mehra from SKR Public School. Nyasa Yadav from St. Thomas Girls Secondary School. And who have been given third. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all again and heartiest congratulations to all winners. We are sure such events will certainly expose students to various aspects of agriculture, will inspire them and attract them towards agriculture. Thank you all again. And so today we have many young and jubilant minds who are here with us, both physically and in an online mode, who must have dreamed of about this day when they have their role models and mentors so close. So we have a list of students for interaction with the dignitaries on this occasion from different hubs. I'll be calling upon their names and they may interact as their names are being announced. So first I'll call upon from Bengaluru hub, Ms. Supriya Jaiswal. She's an MSc student, MSc first year student. If she's connected online, you can interact with the dignitaries and your mentors.
Hello. Good morning, ma'am.
From Bengaluru hub, I invite Ms. Supriya Jaiswal.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Good morning to our respected director, Dean, ma'am, and honorable. I have one question regarding like we have many achievements in agriculture, but farmers out there have are not accessible to many facilities that we have. Like during our last year Rabi programming bachelor degree, I've seen many farmers having when they don't get expected price in the market, they put their produce in the field and leave it for the failure only. So they are not aware of the post-harvest technology, or they don't adopt it. So what should we do so that farmers can use post-harvest technologies?
Yeah, I think it is a very important question that you have raised. We need to provide the options for value addition, and that is possible through having entrepreneurship and training by institutions like IRI and its hubs, so that you have the incubator facility available and understand what kind of value addition is needed in which particular crop or commodity, and then accordingly the technological options are available, but then that training is to be provided. They have to be linked to the right expert within the institution. So linking, and as I earlier said, institutional backstopping and hand holding are the issues that are very, very critical.
So that was the point raised by Paroda sir in advance also. So we'll move on to the next student. We have Mr. Umar Shankar Kumar. He's from Baramati Hub.
Yeah, madam, is it audible? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. You can share your feelings or experience of the day.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, good morning, everyone. My friends and my director, sir. I am in the project. I am in Nissan Baramati. Data established in 2009 in Malegaon. Yeah. This is just. It is not an institution. It is a powerhouse of knowledge. We can say that it is shaping the future of agriculture in our nation. In few days, I saw that our scientists, faculties, and our seniors working hard in their fields so that we can increase the GDP of our nation. As we know that 30% of our GDP are related to agriculture fields. So we need to enhance our work, or you can say that lab work or field work to increase our productivity in future times. And in the project, we have no much development in micro propagation, nano irrigation, and pesticides or biofertilizers. So we need to work in that field so hard. That's result in increase in our productivity. And about me, myself, Umasankar Kumar, I am from Bihar, and I completed my intermediate education in one of the prestigious school, St. Maya School, New Delhi, Noida sector. I want to be a ARS scientist in future, that to make a great change in our agriculture field. That's all. And at last, I want to say that our campus is very good, have great infrastructure, good field, good labs and classrooms. I wish that our scientist or teacher will guide us for better future. And at last, I wish you all on this occasion of uh, Agriculture Education Day, on the birth anniversary of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. We all know that he is a great guy from Bihar, Chhapra, and he got Bharat Ratna, and he is one of first president of our independent nation and first Union Minister of Agriculture. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you, Umashankar. I think it's not a question; it's a concern and your experiences. Thank you so much. So, can we take up next Katak Hub? We have two students who will wish to interact. I think we can take one. One is Mr. Ritik Nayak. He's a BSc AG honors student, and another is Miss Meghna Sarkar. She's a MSc in plant pathology.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Good morning and good afternoon, all the dignitaries and respected present over there. I, Ritik Nayak, student of NRI.
Dear student Katak Hub, please confine yourself to, a very brief introduction. And if you have anything regarding guidance from Honorable Dr. Paroda and Dr. R.B. Singh ji, that's all. Thank you so much. And all the Hub students regarding that. Yeah, thank you.
I would like to ask a question: how to increase the entrepreneurship among the graduates who are currently pursuing their education in the degree of agriculture? Yes, about the NRI Cuttack, our campus is situated at Vidyadharpur, Cuttack. It has the land area of about 300 million hectares, producing new varieties of rice and yielding climate resilient crops. So our labs and equipments, lab and experimental labs are well equipped with facilities and modern technologies that are essential for the agriculture student to pursue their higher career. We also get the opportunity to interact with the scientists and experienced professors who help us in clarifying our concepts. And thank you, sir. And the question about the increasing the entrepreneurship among the graduates.
For entrepreneurship, in fact, it again depends on which area or your specialization is. And then suppose if it is, biotechnology, then one has to think in terms of what through biofortification varieties one can produce and provide, and what are the options of it available, and whether there is need for those biofortified varieties or not. So that kind of approach will be required, and you will have to yourself visit, see what best is being done in that area. If it is, for example, biopesticide, production of any biopesticide, then you have to link yourself with the best laboratory available around and get the required training. And that's why I said that in future we don't need the full 3 or 4, 5 years program, but what we need is the the vocational training of these young people so that they are better exposed to, and those entrepreneurs who have succeeded have not only gone and seen by themselves, but even gone even abroad and then tried to pick up the best available options or equipments that are required, whether it is dairy sector, whether it is the diversification for production of any of the bio fertilizers. You name anything, you really can be successful to a greater extent, but you must firstly try to understand what is that is going to provide you a success for, and then whether there is raw material available and whether there is demand for it. So those are all aspects which would be necessary. And I think most of the institutions or hubs where there are now incubators, they are trying to provide various options for entrepreneurship.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, Ritik. Meghna, quickly, if you want to make a point.
Yes, sir. The thing I would like to ask is like the farmers are our end users, end consumers. Like if scientists are producing like so many innovations, 100%, that 100%, what 20% also does not reach the farmers. So I think extension should be made more like we should strengthen the extension system in our country. So I would like to know what sir is thinking, that how to strengthen the extension system in our country more and reach to more number of farmers.
I did mention that I think time has come when for any of these technologies where lead time for dissemination and convincing farmer is longer than what we had earlier when we had miracle wheats and rices which picked up at their own very fast. You require a extension system to be much more stronger, and public system possibly may not be able to deliver. And that's why we need now private extension system by having the young people like you properly trained, like say for it is protected cultivation. Then you need to provide all kinds of expertise to the person who is interested in protected cultivation in terms of solarization, in terms of fertigation, in terms of erection of the polyhouse, and also in terms of protection against any disease and other adverse aspects that are going to affect his yield. So that is very critical, and any farmer will be happy to pay for the services, whether it is plant protection service, it is outsourcing of equipment, whether it is like even on my farm, I request a young farmer in the village who has a tractor to come and cultivate the field on charge basis. So that kind of private extension will be necessary, and there is tremendous potential for it, and that's what we have been trying to now emphasize, and for which we need again very specialized programs, like in case of technology you have IITs and you have ITIs. In agriculture we don't have ITIs, so we want now universities to take a role of formal education as well as informal training program, whether they are diploma or certificate program for a short course, whether for raising nursery, whether for vermicompost production, and any aspect that is critical can be then provided to the farmer. Even like drones, everybody would not be required to buy, but these will have to be through the custom hire basis, and whether it is conservation agriculture. So someone has to start maybe custom hire basis equipment supply center on charge basis. So these are the options that are available. Input provider, input should be the right input, right quantity, right quality, and to be applied at right time. So these are all important aspects, and for resilience in agriculture, right knowledge to the farmer at right time is a critical demand, and that can be met by involving youth to get more actively involved, and in the process not only earn for themselves but also help the farmer not to get any, even if it is pesticide, whether the pesticide is a out of date, expiry, farmer doesn't know how much quantity to be used, which equipment to be used. But I do need protection, say if it is powdery mildew of any particular fruit, then it has to be protected. So if there are services available, it is win-win on both sides. And that's what is going to help us a great deal. Mushroom production, honey production, you talk of secondary agriculture, you talk of specialty agriculture. Now, vertical farming, even we talk of urban farming, all those are possibilities that can be thought of.
Thank you, sir. A very valid point made by you again. And custom hiring is coming up in a big way in agriculture, and the task is set for you also, Meghna. Thank you so much. So next we have representatives from Hyderabad Hub. Hello. From Hyderabad Hub, we have two students. Miss Ankita, she is a PhD student.
Yes, ma'am. Respected dignitaries, scientists, directors, and my dear friends from across all the hubs, a very good morning to you all. I am Ankita Mahapatra. I am a PhD student in soil science. It is a privilege for me to have the opportunity to interact today. I would like to thank our esteemed dignitaries for gracing us with their enlightened words and invaluable guidance. We are deeply grateful for the wisdom you have shared with us today, and we are eager to implement your guidance as we continue our journey at IRI Hyderabad Hub. Your presence and insights have truly been an honor. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Ankita, for your emotions and your sharing. We all acknowledge your...
Well, you are a student of soil science. I think, again, farmer will be very much benefited if there are good quality testing labs, whether it is soil testing or water testing. Even those are not available. Accredited labs is one option again for entrepreneurship by the young people. Why one should go to a lab where you don't get the quality data back for your soil testing? Government has issued more than 14 crore soil health test cards. And we know that for me, on my farm, I need gypsum because of the alkalinity in the soil. But the subsidy government is giving is on nitrogen or urea. So, or phosphate. So how do I get benefited? That's why we are now telling also to the government that convert these subsidies into incentives as per soil test basis and use of those chemicals which are essentially required. And now AI has another option which can tell how much you will need in which part, not that you have to use it uniformly. And so far we are using fertilizer just by broadcasting. Why broadcasting? This is not required. Why not go for a simple approach of what you call as ferticum seed drill? That itself will increase your efficiency by 10 to 15% rather than broadcasting. The way I said micro irrigation increases efficiency to an extent of 30 to 40% for irrigation. You can save on those and cover more area and benefit the farmer. And while providing this, you yourself also will get the confidence of the farmer and will have your own better living and opportunities for more income.
Thank you.
Dr.
So,
just a minute. I request all the students to be seated here till the final conclusion of this program. That's one way of showing your gesture as a respect to the chair and the chief guest of today's function. Every word of theirs, means a lot. Let's be attentive.
So we move on to the next student from Hyderabad Hub, Mr. Nikhil Raj.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, professors, and all my fellow classmates, once again, a very warm good afternoon to all of you. I'm Nikhil Rajesh, a student pursuing BSc Honors Agriculture at ICAR-IARI, Hyderabad. It is such an honor and pleasure to be presented with the opportunity to interact with such eminent personalities in the field of agriculture. Your words inspire us to strive towards excellence, breaking through all obstacles in our path. It has also brought into the light the problems faced in the field lately. And being in a prestigious institution that is IARI, it continues to provide us with unique opportunities, helping us to excel in our sector. The orientation program has us all keen to jump deeper into the subjects and learn our syllabi with utmost interest. I once again thank you for this amazing opportunity.
Thank you, Nikhil. And that is actually the purpose of this interaction section. Thank you so much. So we'll move on to the next slide. So from Karnal Hub, we have Miss Ashna Srivastav. Miss Ashna Srivastav from Karnal Hub.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Honorable R.S. Paroda, sir, Dr. R.P. Singh, sir, and directors of all prestigious hubs, and my dear IRI family. Today, on the occasion of Agriculture Education Day, I think it's very important for us to understand that agriculture is not any single entity. It has multifaceted dimensions ranging from education, extension, and overall development of a student. And I'm very happy to share with all of you that from the day we have entered this institution, our director, sir, and our Honorable Dr. Ratan Tiwari, sir, have always tried for us to have an overall development through lots of lectures organized for us, ranging from very innovation workshop, academic writing workshops, writing working etiquettes, entrepreneurship classes, interactions with progressive farmers, yoga classes, and a beautiful lecture on NEP 2020 education policy, and a great environment for us regarding the sports and our overall development. I really hope that I can give back into this institution and through my skills, and I learn a lot from this institution. Thank you.
I think one point I would like to emphasize that in most of the universities, now we are having the students coming from not the rural sector, but urban sector. And when we talk to the industry people that why our students are not being recruited, that time, I'm not talking of now, but about 25 years ago, the answer was that your students are not exposed to the real problems of rural India. And therefore, we started immediately 6-month Ravi program at the cost of ICR. That was started, I think, still. Then it has been extended now to what you call a student ready program or what? Of 1 year of the practical training. So this is very important that we try to understand the difficulties of farmers, see what are the challenges there and what do they need. And once you know that, then you certainly can decide and put your best to support them, and maybe decide to take a course of not only just going for higher education or for research or PhD, but also for providing the farmers at their doorstep the good quality input, good knowledge, and also linking them to the market. Even there is a potential linking farmers to market by a young person. It itself is going to make all the difference. Cooperative movement has shown that. So why not we have this similar initiative even in the private sector through young trained professionals in agriculture sector.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And next, I'll be calling upon from Kolkata Hub, Shri Tanmoy Das. Mr. Tanmoy Das from Kolkata Hub.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, you are.
Good afternoon, sir and ma'am. Thank you for giving this opportunity to be a part of this wonderful program. On the occasion of Agricultural Education Day, I am Thomas Dash, PG student, Soil Science, from ICAR-IARI Kolkata Hub, Riser. I want to extend my pranam and respect to our chairman of the program, Dr. R.B. Singh sir, chief guest and speaker, Dr. R.H. Paroda sir, director ICAR-IARI, New Delhi, Dr. A.K. Singh sir, joint director, Education and Dean, ICAR-IARI, New Delhi, Madam Dr. Anupama Singh ma'am, and all the respected persons present in this hybrid mode. I believe this program will boost up our motivation and help us to step forward solving the issues in the field level. Sir, I have a question. Farmers in our area keep a very rigid mind setup and conservative mind setup. So how we have to help them to break their mind setup and move forward for the modern agriculture? Thank you, sir.
Can you repeat the question? It's not clear.
How to change the mindset to notice in the area that farmers are having a conservative mindset regarding farming. So
the mindset.
Yes. For change the mindset is not that easy. You will have to have more perseverance, patience, and dedication to work with them. And one thing is clear that farmers always say, seeing is believing. So show them the results. Once they see something works, then anybody will change. And for that, if one farmer is not willing, I think there are people within the same area who would come forward and adopt. And once they adopt, then that will have also the effect on the person who is otherwise not willing to go in line with your suggestions or any alternative approach. But it is very clear that same agriculture, traditional agriculture is not going to help. You need diversification. You definitely need to ensure, and the young generation would not be willing to go in agriculture. They require profession not only lucrative but also respectable. So the societies respect the availability of amenities in the rural areas, and but the question is, who is going to create this environment? When I joined the National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources, there was no gene bank. I would have, and I was there for only 2 years. I could have also said only 2 years I will pass my time and move forward and go somewhere else. But then you need to create it. And that's why once my professor in UK said, when the people go back, we don't hear from them. They are very bright students. Dr. H.K. Jain was also his student. And then he said, I hear only from H.K. Jain, not from others. The question is that you need to create the required enabling environment. An enabling environment, nobody is going to give you in silver plate. So you will have to create it by working with your team, with your colleagues. You have to encourage them. Don't say I. Adopt the process of we, that we have done it, not I have done it. I would never help you. And you must have also broader approach and patience. But perseverance is only way for success, and that success will come. So don't get disheartened. But there are others who will be willing to adopt if the technology is good and if you have shown them the benefits of it. But I agree, some of the technologies require more lead time for dissemination of knowledge. But dissemination loss should not be there of knowledge. For that, you should have best possible information available with you, and you must work with them. And suppose if it is only rhizobium culture, it's use of rhizobium culture in legumes. Farmer would say that, oh, you have applied it, but there is no increase in yield. And then you have to tell that in the next cereal crop which you are going to grow, which will lead to more sustainability of cereal legume rotation, but then you will have to wait for next crop where you will save 30 to 40 kg of nitrogen. Now farmer is not having that patience because he wants to have results quickly. But once you work with him for a longer period, and therefore all these technologies, conservation agriculture, whether it is all related to change in their cropping and farming system, would require much more sincere effort by extension people. And that's why we say the youth should be encouraged, they should be given the challenge, but they should also be given opportunities. So we created at the global level a young platform, we called it YPOD, based in FAO at that time, and now I think it is based in Germany. And in India also we created ARIA program for youth. So youth has to come, attracting youth in agriculture. And we now say that you can't attract youth in agriculture unless you motivate them. So you will have to work with them. You will have to convince them that here is a future, here is an opportunity. And I think the future of agriculture in India would only be brighter when the youth embraces different aspects of technology dissemination, whether technology generation, upscaling of innovation, or outscaling of innovation. Both would require the effort jointly by all of us, and I do see great opportunities for that now. Fortunately, in India, we have robust market, internal market. Like today, we are second largest producer of horticulture and second largest producer of vegetables. If it is horticulture, the first largest producer is Brazil, and Brazil population is just nothing. Who will consume there if they don't export? So the pressure is of value addition and export. So that pressure is fortunately not here, but why should we not also capitalize by having the globalization of market and make this 55 billion US dollar even to 100 and ultimately to 1 trillion economy. So there are opportunities, options, but business as usual will not help. Time is running out, and with the bright students, the kind of facilities you have today, we didn't have in my. I never could get this kind of lab facilities, or as a breeder, it was I would say number game. To make crosses, go in the field and be with the plants, like Dr. Bolog used to say, be with the plant, they also speak and you have to listen to them. So you are lucky if you can find a good combination, and you have to work for 3, 4, 5, 6 years for a good variety. Now, the CRISPR-Cas will tell you which gene is to be transferred in which one for what trait. So gene mining can be now much more focused. So these opportunities were not there before. The opportunities for value addition. Now all our, when you talk about citrus, जिसे हम संतरा कहते हैं, नागपुर संतरा, all we are producing a lot. But I said, why don't you produce also the juice of it? Then we were told that it is table variety. Unless you bring another new variety for juice production, this will not be an economical proposition. So you have to diversify. But you have to start thinking. You will not only eat for yourself, you will have to also capitalize the market abroad. So all these options are available. We have to keep our horizon broad, be globally wise, but we will have to act locally. And if you don't act locally, nothing will happen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing some very practical tips for successful dissemination. So we will continue with the interaction session, but since Professor Paroda has to leave for some urgent assignment, we'll wish to felicitate you, sir, for being with us and being the eminent speaker of today's lecture. And we will continue with the interaction session once the felicitation is over. I request Dr. A.K. Singh, sir, Honorable Director and Vice Chancellor IRI, to felicitate Professor Paroda, sir, for being with us, for accepting our invitation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Please stay back with us. We'll continue with the interaction session. Thank you so much. Please be seated and stay back with us till the end of the program. Thank you. From Nagpur Hub, we have Ms. Regiment, Mr. S.R. Reddy. Yes. Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thanks for the valuable lecture from the Dr. R.S. Paroda, sir. And it is very informative and it is very knowledge. And I would like to share one view about the challenges that are facing the farmers. That most of the technologies like drone and precision agriculture practices, this can be done only to the, it can be possible to the farmer level only when the farmers are in high lands, but most of the farmers there are small farm holders. This can be, although it is, this problem has been solved by using custom hiring centers as they are providing inputs to the farmers. Alongside, sir, custom community farming or group farming can solve the problem. As community farming can also be encouraged, sir, because it can solve the problem that most of the modern technologies are should need higher land areas now, sir. So how can it be encouraged or can it solve the problem? It's my question.
To solve the problems of?
Like most of the modern technologies need higher land areas now. So if the community farming can be encouraged or it can be practiced among the farmers, it can solve the problem. The dissemination of technology can be made easy and knowledge can be made easy. So how can we encourage community farming?
Got it. Community farming. Well, it's extremely important to encourage community farming because
It is the community which lives at the ground. The ground reality is always linked with the community. And if the community is convinced or is really aware that this is what it is happening, that will be automatically adopted. And this happens. For example, you take cooperatives. If you take cooperatives, take cooperative like IFCO. IFCO has more than 40,000 cooperatives as a part of IFCO. And each cooperative has several hundred or some thousands of farmers part of the individual cooperatives. And those farmers are on community basis. So community and cooperatives work together, and cooperatives are the one which give the scale so high. If you look at the fertilizer distribution in the country, IFCO distributes 1/4 of the total fertilizer in this country, and the community are the first beneficiary of that. So please try to see the connectivity of the two, and I will feel in areas like you go to northeastern zone. It is based on tribals and communities. If those communities are concerned and if they are convinced, they will go ahead with that. You encourage those communities to establish their post-harvest management, their linkage with the market and so on. Those communities will run with you. And that is how it will work at a much higher speed and will be scaled up rather quickly. So community cooperatives, cooperation is the way to go ahead for ground level reality to pervade the success.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the very pertinent question and a very good solution for his question. So next we will take a student from Ranchi Hub. We have Miss Archie Agarwal. From Ranchi Hub.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon.
My greetings to Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Abi Singh, Sir, the Board of Directors, scientists, and the family of ICAR-IARI. I'm extremely thankful for our chief guest's extremely enlightening session, Dr. Paroda, sir. It was very informative. I am from the ICAR-IARI Ranchi Hub, and I'm currently pursuing MSc in GPB. And I'm really thankful for this hub as it has provided us really equipped technologies in our labs and the all-inclusive campus. I just wanted to ask you, sir, about the research and education that we should be focusing more on the research and education on the mitigation of climate change induced abiotic and biotic stresses. As Paroda sir also said that it should be all inclusive, and our institute also inspires us to have our research on not only crop but livestock and fish. So how can we inculcate the climate change in all-inclusive agriculture?
As a matter of fact, climate change, of course, is so comprehensive in the dimensions. Therefore, one has to always realize we have to keep in mind the totality of agriculture. You cannot be single disciplinary. It has to be multidisciplinary. It has to be interdisciplinary. It has to be interactive. You can see one health, one world, one future. The word resilience comes, climate resilience comes if you are able to have the triple wins of adaptation, ADA, PTAION, adaptation, then higher productivity, then you should have mitigation. There are 3 wins which are required for taking climate change to reality and to handle it properly. So remember that those 3 wins have to go together if you want to develop climate resilient agriculture.
Thank you so much. And Archie, the wings of climate change has spread not only on agriculture but for other parts also, and that's why we all are meeting on the platform of COP28 also at Dubai. So very pertinent, and we'll move on to the next hub, that is Shillong hub. Shillong hub, we have Samarki Mahapatra.
Good afternoon to all the dignitaries present. I am Smarki Mahapatra from Umiam Hub, BSc first year student. First of all, I want to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to participate in the one-to-one interaction program. Sir, actually, there's a question from our hub. Land right and ownership is a common
land ownership. Samarki, there is a voice.
Reason. So, is the and ensure secure land rights for farmers. It's related to land rights and ownership. So, am I audible?
There is a voice break. We couldn't hear what you were asking. Be specific. Just one question, one line.
Ma'am, it's related to the land ownership and land rights in the northeastern region.
Land rights in northeastern region. Land ownership and land rights in northeastern region.
As a matter of fact, we have been always recommending the land right as to the tiller as much as possible, and if the land right is not with the particular, then the land will never be cared for, will not be able to be improved the way it has to be. The input that is required, the care that it requires. So the land ownership and the title of the land should all be, the rules have to be changed. And there should be some duration with understanding. Even sharing has to be for certain duration, 5 to 7 years, so that the investor in the sharing of the land who takes it, just for 5 years or 7 years to till the land, it should be fixed for that. It should be certain. Otherwise, the fellow who has taken it alone, that fellow will not invest in the land. He will try to subtract as much as possible from the land. But if the other side makes it sure that before 7 years it will not be taken away, he will make it sure that he manages the land for 3 to 5, 7 years, 6 years properly. So the land ownership and the legal right for the land should go together. It should be provided in our rules and regulations to save the land, actually. To save the land, it should go together.
Thank you, sir. Samarki, your concerns are very genuine, and we all sitting in Delhi are actually jealous of the clear sky you have. So, we'll. No, I think she's standing outside. Where are you, Samarki, right now?
Ma'am, in the park of our hostel campus.
In a park. She's standing in a park somewhere.
She's sitting in the park. Okay. Great.
So we'll move on to the next hub. We have Assam hub, and we have Mr. Sankalp with us. Sankalp, are you there? He's a BSc AG student from ICAR-IARI Assam.
Yes, ma'am. I'm audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon to all the dignitaries, respected teachers, seniors.
Come to your question or concern, please. Straight.
Ma'am, I am a very UG student, very grateful for all the opportunities I got, and very excited to learn from the best, to do my best, and do the best for the nations. Thank you. That is my question.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are there for you always. So with that, we'll move on to the Jharkhand hub. We have Miss Aishwarya.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Yes.
Ma'am, good afternoon to all the dignitaries present over here. I'm Aishwarya, and I'm currently pursuing my BSc Agriculture from ICAR-IARI Jharkhand. And I'm really It's been an honor to be a part of this prestigious ceremony. And if I say from wishing to be a medical student to becoming an agriculture student, I had my own doubts whether I am fit for this course or not, because I always want to heal people, I always want to treat them, I always want to do something for the society. But later, I came to realize that why shouldn't I do that for farmers? Because we may sometimes seek help from doctors, lawyers, police officers, but we seek help from farmers 3 times a day. And the hands that are feeding us are really barely surviving, and they are struggling to fill their stomach. And I'm a starter to this field. I don't know anything about much, and I have 4 long years to explore more about all the aspects of the agriculture field. And I know that I will find a problem to all their solutions. And yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be a student at IARI Jharkhand. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. She's touched to be in the field of agriculture and is ready to serve the farmers of the country.
Well, I think I congratulate your thinking. You are motivated to the other youth, and other colleagues should also please imbibe that spirit that agriculture is the best profession. Food is first in the hierarchy of needs of a humankind, and food doesn't come from anywhere other than agriculture. Agriculture taken in a more comprehensive sense, and therefore you are really serving the survival. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we have some students from IRI New Delhi also. Can we have Mr. Abhishek Sharma? Yes, Abhishek. You can come here also. You just come here. No question. Okay, so can I invite Mr. Anurag Singh? Or Abhishek, if you want to come, you can come over here. Anurag, you are there? You can come here. He's a BTech biotech student, first year. You are welcome to share your experiences. Come.
Good afternoon, one and all. I extend my warm welcome to all the dignitaries present here and my fellow batchmates and my seniors and all. Today we have an opportunity to join the lecture of Dr. R.S. Paroda, Dr. R.B. Singh, our director sir and all. This is very good for all, and we find this opportunity here in IRI, and thank you.
We are at your command. We love to serve you, and this is our privilege.
Good afternoon, respected Dr. R.B. Singh sir, honorary dignitaries, seniors, and my fellow mates. I'm Anurag Singh from BTech Biotechnology branch. Sir, my question to you is, there are numerous achievements associated with your name. So what is that one achievement that is closest to your heart, sir? This is my question. Sir, there are numerous achievements that are associated with your name. So what is that one achievement that is closest to your heart, sir?
Well, the closest to my heart, the achievement that I consider is my students. As a matter of fact, before I left Banaras Hindu University in 78, I had already nearly 50 PhD students done PhDs with me, and a very large number of other students. And some of my students today are occupying international positions, and they are on the top in their fields and so on and so forth. My right hand is always on my right. As a matter of fact, the kind of department we built there, the kind of students we attracted from all over the country, and some of those who were in other disciplines and fields left out. And after we built those facilities in Banaras Hindu University, you will find that the best of the students will always come to the Department of Genetics and Plant Breeding. And here is one. Your Director General today, Himanshu Pathak, is another one who also went through the same labs and same facilities that we were built for our students and walked the same paths. Dr. N.K. Singh, your biotechnologist here at the Biotechnology Center, he was a student and took the electives with me, and he used to write in Hindi his answers. When I read his question answers, Hindi answers, 100% correct, and could not believe that genetics could be translated in Hindi so beautifully and there is no mistake. So he got 100 out of 100, and I told him that, look, somehow somebody misguided him, where after elective, finishing the electives, he was the best student in electives. Somebody misguided him. He was going for a master's degree in agronomy. When I heard he is going to take his elective and will go in agronomy, I could not believe it. I went to his room in the hostel in Banaras Hindu University. He was not expecting me. When he saw me, he started crying. He realized his mistake, and I did not have to say anything. He took genetics as elective, and you know what N.K. Singh is today doing in biotechnology, and one of the members of the Rice Genome Discovery and so on and so forth today, they're one of the most outstanding biotechnologists on the ground that in the genomics work and so on and so forth, and the kind of responsibility. So for me, it is these students who created a difference in the world of science, and with that they were able to serve the society in the best possible way. And several in the CGIAR centers at CIMIT or at ICAR or at IARI, as a matter of fact. So this is my love, my best outcome, my most loving outcome is my students and nothing.
Thank you very much, sir. And thank you, Anurag, for giving it an emotional tilt, the platform of science. But sir, I'm an agronomist and you stole one of our bright mentors. So we could have N.K. Singh sir as a brilliant agronomist also. Those who are brilliant, they do outstanding wherever they go, beyond the subject, beyond the careers and beyond the areas. Thank you so much. So we have a last student from Patna Hub, Aditya Mishra. We have Mr. Aditya Mishra. He has been waiting since long, so we request him to interact.
Is he here?
Waiting since morning.
Hello, Mr. Sir. Good afternoon. Ma'am, for giving this opportunity. Myself, Aditya Mishra from ICAR-IARI Patna. I want to know about how to improve skill in agriculture and employment.
Improve skill and
agriculture. Hello.
Yes, we got your question.
We got your question. Thank you. Yeah.
How to improve? Yeah, ma'am.
Well, as a matter of fact, today skill is extremely important, particularly when we want to see the entrepreneurship and startups grow, and the way the entrepreneurship and startups result into the employment security and livelihood security is something very important. So skill improvement is extremely important. Skill improvement will come only by doing the things by yourself as much as possible, seeing it, asking better questions, and rather than giving the better answers. So doing is learning, and if you learn by doing the things, your skill will improve. Today, mind you, today we are living in an age what is called the industrial age 4, and digitalization is going to be the foremost requirement of industrial education or the industrialized education or education for transformation. So industrialization is the fourth revolution of industrialization coming today. And in this industrialization, unless you have the skill by doing the thing by yourself, for example, we have RAWE, we have the student ready programs, we have the science of communication, and several of these initiatives which have been brought together. On the spot training, these are all in the field training, in the industry training, these are all skill development. And if you keep this, then you can develop your skill to the highest level. So I think practicing, doing, learning, and if you asking questions, redoing it, ensuring it, and if you are able to convey it to others also in the right way, then it is the right thing to do for your skill development.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your words of wisdom,
Thank you so much, sir.
your valuable insights, your motivation.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for giving the opportunity, sir.
We understand there are many more questions, many students, but time today permits only up to this much. So I'm sure we will have many more sessions in the coming time. And why online? We will have a physical meeting also. So we will meet in physical also. Sure.
Call me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Together.
So we come to an end, and I again request Dr. A.K. Singh sir to felicitate very honorable our own R.V. Singh sir with a shawl and a memento.
Oh. It's nice. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, madam. And we come to an end, and I request Dr. Anupama Singh, ma'am, Honorable Dean and Joint Director Education, to present a formal words of thanks for today's function. Thank you, Dr. Kapila. At the outset, on behalf of all human souls, my humble thanks to the Almighty for giving us everything for which, we have assembled here. Thank you very much. So, respected doyens of the agricultural research and education in not only country, but across the globe, Dr. R.B. Singh ji, Dr. R.S. Paroda ji, our Director and Vice Chancellor, Dr. A.K. Singh ji, my colleagues in the front row, online and offline, my dear students, and ladies and gentlemen. It's my duty to offer the vote of thanks. I know it's lunchtime, and therefore I try to be very quick in doing my duty. So, Honorable Dr. R.B. Singh ji, my sincere thanks to you for your love and the concern for IIRI fraternity and the Naris per se. The very pertinent points that have cropped up in the address of the chief guest today, and then after that your remarks about the NEP, about the compliance, about to be the challenges that are ingrained and embodied and hidden over there at the interface of the Naris system. Sir, we assure you that we are in the process of taking out them and doing our SWOT analysis, and then we will come up to your with cells for taking it up to the policy at the highest level with the government of India. So, sir, thank you very much for your mission to take it now, to give that mashal in the hands of the youngest ones now,
to get the recognition of agriculture as a subject as one of the STEM. So he always speaks about STEM to STEAM. So the way the Agricultural Education Day lecture has gone today, I think that point is very valid. My thanks to Dr. R.S. Paroda ji, who had to go from the function midway because of his pre-scheduled engagements. So it was a very mesmerizing and engaging and a thought-provoking talk, which has, of course, given us always believes in giving a way forward at the end of his deliberations. And of course, there are few points and take-home messages that have come up out of his talk, which are, again, the NEP challenges, the importance of the vocational education, responsibility of the students, and at the same time, responsibility of the faculty and the management to provide that platform where the students can give wings to can give fire and then wings and then, wings to the fire. So, that is something which we had today during the lecture of the chief guest today. So we thank him for his time and for the guidance that has been provided to us. My sincere thanks to respected Dr. A.K. Singh sir for his guidance and the excellent mentorship that he always keeps giving to us. And regarding this particular function, I would fail in my duties if I don't mention that right from the conceptualization to just, few minutes before the start of this function. Sir was guiding us all through across several dimensions. Thank you very much, sir. Because of the paucity of time, I won't be able to name each and every one who was involved in this gigantic task, which was planned in, in a very narrow period of time. But I take a bow to the sincerity which was displayed by this Agricultural Education Day lecture organizing committee led by Dr. Dahuja, our other Associate Dean colleagues, Dr. K.K. Vinod, Associate Dean International Affairs, Associate Dean PG, Dr. Atul, and Dr. Bharadwaj, his team. They did a wonderful job in organizing this right, from the very beginning. And then, other colleagues, our directors and the joint directors or their office teams, transport team, ENP section, MOHR team, Central Photo Lab, and then auditorium team. And of course, there are so many teams which are involved in an intertwining mode involved in the form of a IARI Venn diagram that it is not possible for me to name each and every one, but you are there in my heart when I am paying my gratitude. So thank you very much. Last but not the least, on behalf of the entire IRI management faculty and the student community and alumni family of IRI, it is my duty to pay my sincere thanks to Dr. Himanshu Pathakji, the DG ICR and Secretary there and NAS President, for the implementation of the plan to create the regional academic collaboration in the form of the hubs to comply with one of the key requirements of the IRI Mega University in compliance with the NEP. In just less than a year, this was envisioned, planned, and implemented to the extent that, sir, today we have the second year UG batch here today with you and across the pan-India. So IRI Graduate School is now pan-India. So this is something, sir, which is a matter of elation. And kindly forgive me if, inadvertently I have forgotten to name any team or any individual in my vote of thanks. Thank you very much for your patient presence here. And I thank you once and all. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. So with that, we conclude the program. Thank you for your gracious presence. Have a great day. Namaskar.